Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Vampire Diaries, episode 805, titled Coming Home Was a Mistake, which premiered Friday, November 18, 2016 on the CW. Now guys, quick reminders, for these recordings, normally I would record my genuine first impressions about the episode the same night I'm watching the episode for the first time, but as of right now, it is December 1st, 2016, a good 2 weeks, roughly, since the episode aired. My life has just been crazy hectic. Haven't had time to just sit down and record, but I'm doing it now before the episode airs tomorrow night. So you are still getting my genuine first impressions as I've written them down. So hopefully I don't miss anything. Also, I only own my thoughts, theories, and opinions, and it's all coming based off of what I see coming off of the show itself. Anything used in the video, like photos and such like that, can be found through Google, especially if they're related specifically to the TV show. I don't own any of that stuff. This is made just for fun, so no money's being made off of this. This is just a way for me to not only share my own thoughts, theories, and opinions about what I think is going to happen in the final season with you guys, but it's also a great way to keep track for myself what my predictions were in case they happen to pan out. So let's start with the 10-minute clock, guys, and let's begin with something new that we learned in this episode. So first off, the episode title, Coming Home Was a Mistake, was a line in episode 109 said by Stefan to Elena. So that was pretty cool, going really to the very beginning, I guess you could say. So the way I noticed in this episode was that there was 3 specific storylines going on in this episode, and then a few tidbits that I want to touch upon. So the first one I'm going to call stopping Damon. So pretty much Stefan plans to restrain Damon until they could break Sybil's hold on him. Stefan tries to get Damon to turn his humanity back on, but Damon didn't see a way of coming back from what he has done while under Sybil's influence. He said that there was no point. He doesn't want to experience all of that. Eventually, Stefan and Caroline managed to arraign Damon and chain him up in his coffin and put him in the Salvatore family crypt. Unfortunately, Sybil freed Damon later on, which resulted in her gaining his full loyalty to her. So that's a downside there. Storyline number 2, I'm calling saving Enzo. So Bonnie uses Enzo's fear to bring his humanity back. Enzo's fear turns out to be that he fears being abandoned. It's happened numerous times over his human life as well as his vampire life. We saw it through Damon, we saw it through Lily, so Bonnie takes note of that, and pretty much she sets the cabin on fire with herself and Enzo inside. Bonnie is the only one who can leave the cabin. She chooses not to, and Enzo is magically sealed inside of the cabin due to an artifact she got from the armory where it's a candle that can only be put out by the person who lit it, aka Bonnie. So Enzo could try as much as he wants, but he can't put the fire out of this candle, which is what's keeping him inside of this cabin. Initially, like Enzo, he thought that Bonnie had her powers back because of the barrier spell, until she revealed that artifact. Anyways, so only when Bonnie was on the brink of death did Enzo snap his humanity back on to get Bonnie out of the burning cabin, yet he remains stuck inside at the threshold. Bonnie wakes up just in time to see Enzo on the verge of collapsing from smoke inhalation. So she rushes back inside to extinguish the artifact that's keeping him sealed inside. And together, Enzo uses vampire speed to get to Bonnie and then get them out of there to safety. And they kiss in reunion, and they are back together on the same side. So that's a win. So we got one for the Siren team and one for the vampire team. So we're tied at the moment. Now, storyline number 3, I'm calling twin corruption. So we all know at this point that Celine is the second Siren, Celine being the nanny of Alaric's twins with Caroline. So this storyline shows Celine continuing to share with the twins the story about Arcadius, aka Cade, and how to process death, by example of a dead goldfish that they managed to win at a carnival. So eventually, Celine gets the girls to siphon some magic from her so they can light a small fire. They use the Incendia spell, and it's so cute how in awe they are that they were able to produce this small burst of magic that created a flame. Unknowing to the twins, though, that they just set Georgie's dead body that was hidden under the pile of rubble on fire. So, ugh. So anyways, Celine eventually takes the twins and doesn't return them home, which is how Caroline and Alaric come back home finding that their twins are missing. So I've kind of a win for the Siren, so that's 2-1 now. So let's move on to tidbits, though. So we get Tyler's first funeral being interrupted. This is when his coffin was being carried to the cemetery, only to be interrupted by Damon, who has 4 graves already dug up for Alaric, Caroline, Stefan, and Matt, he claims. However, after all that mayhem, Tyler's second funeral happens at the carnival, and Stefan is the one who leads the speeches, saying he brings up his memories of him and Elena back in the carnival in episode 202, and he tells the group that they have to continue to live in memory of them. Also, this funeral has Bonnie and Enzo joining in as well, whereas the first time Bonnie was absent. So, even though Tyler was dead, Matt gets a box of research sent to him by Tyler, and the box contained Tyler's clues and trails on finding the missing siren. Tyler was helping Virginia St. John in locating her, as she knew that her answer had let the siren free when he opened the vault. The box showed old photos of Celine. Now, when Caroline later on shows pictures of her twins to Matt at the second carnival funeral, Matt is the one that warns Caroline and Alaric about Celine, as he sees the photo of Celine with the twins after seeing the old hand-drawn photos of Celine that were in Tyler's research box. So that's how they're clued into the fact that Celine is the second siren. So, another tidbit is that Sybil breaks free from the armory when she was left alone, and the tuning fork is now in her possession, or the old pitchfork, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. And also at the very end, Dorian, a.k.a. Alaric's other intern, is called when Georgie's burnt body is found at the crime scene. So they're going to be informed of the fact very soon that Georgie is now pronounced dead. So I believe that is everything to really sum up all of it. I hope I captured everything. But moving on to what was the most shocking moment of the episode, for me, I have 2 of them. One was the fact that Tyler has been trying to find Celine for Virginia St. John. I didn't think that Tyler was even aware of the whole siren business. And it has to have me wondering how he even met Virginia. And if that's the case, that means Celine wasn't always... If what Virginia's ancestors said was true, that means Celine was never always... She wasn't always free. She was also contained in the vault for some time. But then why did she get out and not Sybil? So anyways, my second shocking moment was the fact that how much Celine has been sharing with the twins. I thought it was just... The last episode, I thought that was the first time she had shared the Arcadia story with them. The fact that she's teaching them some magic, the fact that she's having them try to learn how to siphon magic, the fact that she's trying to teach them about the deeper meaning of life and what happens after death and what the meaning of everything is. It was very surprising how far in depth she was getting it into the twins, if that makes sense. But let's move on to most favorite top 3 moments for me. First one has to be Bonnie and Enzo. I didn't think for the episode that showed the flashbacks of how they came to be, I had my reservations. I will admit that, though. But if I just watch this episode as is, for Bonnie and Enzo, I absolutely loved it. Bonnie's determination to free Enzo, what she was willing to do to get him to come back to her, was astonishing. Not saying that Bonnie isn't a fighter or anything, but the fact that she knew what she had to do, she knew what exactly she needed to trigger within him to get him back was really great. And then for Enzo to finally snap back out of it before it was really too late, it was just great timing. The whole soundtrack just added to the emotion, and it was great to see the two of them truly reunite together. Now, the question remains, is Enzo still under the mind-controlling influence of Sybil, like Damon is? So there's that question to kind of linger on to. But let's move on to the second favorite moment. The twins, Lizzie and Josie, they are just so adorable. Anytime those two are on screen together, I just wish I could just pinch their little cheeks or just tickle them until I hear their laughs. It's just, I love them. They're so adorable. So every time I now see them with Celine, I am terrified of just what that siren has been teaching them, just how much of her claws have sunk into them, how much of an influence she has made on them. It really reminds me of back on Charmed season 6, where the whole idea of bad influences getting to a little Wyatt, seemingly harmless, and yet seeing the repercussions of what that turns into, him being evil Wyatt as an adult. It really has me worried for the twins. It really does. But it was a great throwback for that whole Charm vibe of the whole child influence type thing. But third favorite moment, moving on, the fact that Stefan was trying to convince Damon to come back home. The fact that he wanted him to turn back his humanity, how he said that he was going to be there for him, he's going to help him through all of this, and then Damon giving arguments that I didn't think he would give as an emotionless vampire. He claimed that he doesn't want to feel any pain. He doesn't think he can come back from that. He shows fear of hell itself. So it's just two very different sides that I wasn't expecting to see between the two brothers, and I loved it for sure. So let's move forward to top 3 peeved moments. I only have the 2 and that is the fact that number 1 was that there was no further protection around the Salvatore family crib. The fact that Sybil was able to walk on in and get to Damon's coffin, it annoyed me. Shouldn't there have been like some armory artifact? Shouldn't they have gotten a witch to put a barrier spell around the crypt? So not only kind of like the tomb spell back in season 1, couldn't they have done something like that to not only keep people out of the Salvatore family crypt, but to keep Damon in case he did wake up until the time came that they would release him thinking he was of sane mind again? But the fact that there was no protection other than chaining him up like they did, then that just disappointed me for sure. But moving on to the second peeved moment I had was the fact that Bonnie has no powers. For a moment, like I mentioned before, I thought she did, just like Enzo thought she had powers. And it just really sucks that she doesn't have them. It sucks. Because Bonnie, to the core, is a witch. It's a part of who she is, and the fact that she doesn't have access to that anymore, it really is a bummer, for sure. Next. And you kind of want her to be the one to teach the twins which magic stuff. And yet it doesn't look like that's even going to be a possibility. They have Celine for that. But let's go on quickly to what we'll remember most when I look back on this episode. The fact that it's Tyler's funeral. Pretty much the title itself of the episode gives that away. Also, the fact that you get the breakthrough with Bonnie and Enzo, the fact that they are reunited on the same page together is another big reminder for sure. Moving on quickly, though, random questions. First, how far does Sybil's connection truly go for Damon? That is one that I'm truly wondering. As well as, is Sybil working to sever her contract with Cade? Is she trying to get followers on her side so that she can use them to either destroy her connection to Cade or overthrow Cade? I have no clue. Next, did Celine target the twins because they were the surviving Gemini twins who happened to be siphoners, or is she always targeting witches, or is she always targeting children and building them into I guess cultivating them to be these followers of Cade? But then if she does that, then doesn't that mean that she's already damning their souls to be in servitude of Cade? So that's another one. And another question is, I wonder how long Tyler was helping Virginia in her search for the missing siren. So there's that. Let's move on to predictions very, very quickly, though. Based off the promo for 806, the episode doesn't come back until December 2nd. That is tomorrow for me as I'm recording this. But according to the promo, it looks like Celine takes the twins to meet Arcadius, aka Cade. It looks like Stefan gets into a compromising position because of Damon. Now, based off the synopsis for the episode 806, Paul Wesley directs this episode again, which finds Stefan make an unexpected sacrifice. It reads, when her children become the focus of the Sirens' latest plan, Caroline takes drastic measures to ensure nothing gets in the way of keeping her family safe. In a race against the clock, Stefan pledges to do everything he can to save the twins, while tensions between Alaric and Caroline boil over, leading them to face some harsh realities about the future of their family. Meanwhile, when Enzo finds himself unable to fight off Sybil's latest move, Stefan dives into his subconscious and, along the way, sets off a chain of events that leaves him faced with a life-changing decision. Bonnie and Matt are also set to star. Now, based off of that and the whole setup of an unexpected sacrifice that Stefan makes, I'm wondering if Stefan sacrifices his free will to the Sirens, kind of like a take me and let them go type thing. So he's going to try to make a trade for himself for the twins, so that Caroline gets her girls back, but he not only goes with the Siren willingly, but he will be able to stay by Damon's side and kind of keep an eye on him, but therefore sacrificing any possible future he would have with Caroline since they are engaged. So that's where I picked it about that part. Enzo's inability to fight off Sybil's latest move, whether that has to do with whether she can control him or not, that is the question. But it seems like it's going to be connected to Stefan's decision that sets off a chain of events from the looks of it. But there is that. But since I am recording this the day before the actual 806 airs, I have seen the sneak peek, and it shows Caroline telling Stefan to stay behind as she and Alaric go after the twins. So there is definitely going to be tension in how things are to proceed afterwards. But that's about it, guys. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, all that good stuff. I try to be up to date with that, though, but you can find it all in that one place. So follow me there if you want to keep up to date with my postings. Also, my WordPress account is attached to my Tumblr. The link for it is also down below. Anything I post online, whether it's fanfiction, YouTube videos, the Tumblr reblogs, it's all connected to my WordPress. So if you want to follow me everywhere, just check out there. It's a work in progress for sure. I'm slowly updating it as I go. And also, don't forget to check my live journal entry account. That will include a play-by-play episode, or play-by-play jot-noted version of what happened in the episode as I watch it for the first time, including my thoughts that happened in the moment and any questions along the way. The link for that entry is down below as well. And that's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. So sorry for the delay, but I truly appreciate you giving this video a chance and just hearing me out on what I have to say. I hope you come back for the next video to see what I have to say about that, because we are almost halfway through the final season. So until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.